and the mental resilience of it.
And you build up, yeah, as you say, you build up that mental resilience. You become much more mentally tough, where you're able to say yes to things, no to things. You're able to go and be more disciplined. And when I say discipline, people are often scared of that word, like it's this really hard military style word. But discipline to me just means to be a disciple. To be a disciple of what? Whatever you choose to be. Some people are a disciple of moaning. They're disciplined at moaning. Some people are disciple to that art. Some people are disciple to their work form or whatever that is. And it's about being, for me, it's about being a disciple of what I love, right? And being a disciple of love. So therefore, doing everything with that passion, with that inspiration behind it. And therefore, discipline becomes something that's actually enjoyable rather than something that I dread.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Two things from that is, one, for me, dentistry, when I'm doing it, because you have to be in the moment. It takes such concentration, and it's very fine, so detail, and so it really brings you into the moment, because, yeah, as I said, everything, it takes very precise, and everything has to be as perfect as possible. So that's one thing with my job, and I think that's a good thing as well with the job. It kind of, it brings you into it, and it kind of also gives you structure and those things, and then you kind of like, the more you can take pride in your work, the better you feel about it, so that's one thing that I find. And then when it comes to sports, me and my family, we like to go skiing, and we ski, and it's interesting how the more you relax and the more you can kind of believe you can do it, the more you can do it, but the stiffer you are and the more worried you are, the more likely you are to fall. But when you're comfortable and relaxed, you can absorb the bumps and turns and things like that. So you find the best skiing is when you're the most relaxed, so...
and you're going almost beyond the thoughts, so therefore you're in the flow state. Like, what is the flow? When you're absent of thoughts, when you're present. And like we were saying about your work, I love what you're saying. It's like, whereas you're in a state of service where you're the other person, you're there for the other person. So you're not thinking about you as your character, you're not rich for a moment, even though you were at the beginning. But when you're doing your job, you're like, you can't think about who you are.
Absolutely.
Because you're in service of them, your care, there's attention.
It's really important.
And because of that, how great does that feel? That's why there's love and there's passion for it, and you're successful as you are for doing what you do, because that particular attitude in itself. And I think that's something that it's important to remember, actually. Sometimes people can be like, doing things for others is effort or it's hard work. Actually, it's a blessing, it's a pleasure, and it brings out the best of us in humans. Not only do we get to give something to someone else, so for example, you get to give someone a great smile, right? You also get to receive a great smile by doing that, which is fantastic. So in giving, we're receiving, and in receiving, we're giving, which is fantastic, like balance that happens when we're able to bring ourselves into these states for whatever we do, as you showed, through your profession, or through anyone can do it through their own profession, whatever that is.